Oh, we're live. Hey, there we go. Hello and welcome once again to Superconnectivity. I'm your host, Charlie, the Professor Esser. And with me, as always, is the man with the plan, the man with the knowledge, the founder of the feast himself,
Phil me and Parrish.
Hey, Phil. Good to have you, as always, here on Superconnectivity, the forgotten bastard stepchild of Capes and Lunatics, where we get whatever scraps we did not get the chance to talk about on Capes and Lunatics, we now get to talk about here on Superconnectivity.
Hey, sometimes and a lot of times we do it first.
Yeah.
Probably next week we'll probably do it first.
Yeah. Yes. It'll still air second, though.
Oh, I'm sorry. I spent time with my child yesterday, Charlie Esser.
Yes. Well, that's good. I actually needed the day off, honestly. I am just so stressed. And, oh, man. Honestly, like, Phil, I don't know how you do it. You know, job, kids, and running an entire podcast network. You
entire
are
network. Who am I, Rob Southgate?
Yeah, well, you run a network within his network. And just between you and me, just because this is the only feed I listen to, I think we're supporting the whole dang Southgate media empire. I think that's why he lets you be the loose cannon you are, Phil. It's like, oh, I don't want to let that guy just run roughshod, but dang, he's bringing in the clicks, you know.
Loose cannon.
Loose cannon, yeah. You're like Dan Aykroyd in that film, Ghostbusters.
It's Miller time.
See, Dan Aykroyd was in a film with Gene Hackman called Loose Cannons. So,
well, you said Ghostbusters, huh?
I know. Well, because I was doing the classic comedic trope where you set up a thing for which a word you said is the punchline, but actually then you change it up. They did that recently in the greatest moment in DC animated history. Mark Hamill gets kidnapped by the Joker and the Jokester. Did you see this, Philip?
Not yet. I so want to see that.
Oh, goodness. Oh, now I can't spoil it for you. Oh, it is everything you should hope from that episode. It is fantastic. It is why we love Mark Hamill. You know what, man? Mark Hamill is a guy who has become re-beloved. I'll tell you about Mark Hamill. He may have gotten his money doing Star Wars love in his voiceover work.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and that is where, I mean, honestly, I think there's entire people who are like, oh, what, he was in Star Wars? Oh, they're putting that guy in Star Wars? Oh, that's cool. I love that guy. You know? Not for nothing. For a large portion of the human population, he wasn't in the last three.
True. Well, for everyone,
you know, he was in
the
last three. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. But you see my point. It's like there was this big gap between the ones he was in, the last three, and this one that he was in like a little cameo at the end. A lot of people were sitting there watching that and said, oh, so is this a Joker reference? I mean, wait, no, that's DC. This is owned by Marvel. How can they do that? So anyway, but it is really a fun watch. I highly recommend it for everyone. If you're a fan of Mark Hamill, if you're a fan of the Joker, I don't think there's any fans who are a fan of the character's name is the Jokester, right? Or
the Trickster?
Yeah. The Trickster, there it is. Yeah. I don't think anyone's a fan of the Trickster. But they play off on that because they make the point that the Joker is the master villain and the Trickster is a second-rate villain. And,
well, I mean, he's played that character on both Flash series now. I mean, the original John Wesley Shipp one and the new one, so.
Yeah, well, because he's Mark freaking Hamill.
Uh-huh.
You know? It's like, honestly, I think Cesar Romero was as mad as Adam West that they didn't ask him to play the Joker. You know?
Ooh.
He was like, I'm still alive, dang it. You know? Oh, man, that would have been awesome.
It's animation. I don't even have to cover up my mustache.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was talking about the 80s one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because both Cesar Romero and Adam West had things to say. And people got mad at Cesar Romero and people got mad at Adam West. And, you know, as you do, because people get mad. Yeah, well, you know, because both of them made the point that, you know, and actually Cesar Romero made the thing, you know, they've gotten so dark, and, you know, Batman's supposed to be for the kids. No, Batman's not for kids. I'm like, no, actually, it's written at a third grade reading level. It is actually for kids.
Yeah, I believe Adam West called himself the Bright Knight instead of the Dark
Knight. Yeah. There's a hole in my bathroom ceiling, and so we've got a ton of fruit flies in the house right now. So if you see me doing this, that's what that's about.
Hi, kids.
Yes. Yes, fruit flies, they love the wet and the dank, and a hole in your bathroom ceiling will give you that.
Oh, I'll ask you this question because I forgot to ask it on Capes and Lunatics. Have you watched Stranger Things?
Oh, yes!
I have.
What I forgot to talk about.
I haven't, but so it's worth a binge then.
Oh my goodness, it is. So you didn't see the first series?
Not yet. No, that's what I'm saying. I might have to binge it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you know, I never recommend binging anything. It's like I think 3 episodes is the most you should ever binge, unless you really have to.
I was looking today. What is it? Like the first season's 8 episodes? And then season 2.
Yeah, it's like 8 episodes. This one's 9.
Yeah.
So it's not that hard to get through. But no, it's definitely worth it. And this latest episode, because I've seen the first 3, it is so good. Paul Reiser's in it. Paul Reiser definitely steals the show. Paul Reiser is giving this performance that makes you realize, sort of like what I was saying about Maximus Ramsey Bolt and Ash from Vicious, and Robert Englund in Capes and Lunatics, but in reverse. Here's a guy who's known for his comedic and lighthearted performances, who is clearly playing an evil man in this series. And you realize, oh, I see how he uses that lighthearted persona to convey menace and evil in such a beautiful way. So yeah, definitely, yeah, you should definitely watch it. That was actually one of the things I was going to watch about it, because, I mean, all right, see, now I can't talk about spoilers, Phil.
You can, I mean,
okay,
I don't care.
So in the second season, they show all of Barb's pictures. They have a whole set of Barb's pictures up there from when she was a baby to when she was in high school. And one of the pictures, when she's an early younger kid, she's got this long red hair. I'm going to say this to those who've seen it. I'm going to say, doesn't she look exactly like Mad Max? Go back and watch that episode. Look at that, and tell me if young Barb doesn't look exactly like Mad Max, and if that's going to be a plot point later on this season. Phil, you don't know who Barb is. You don't know who Mad Max is. But trust me, this means something. Like a stack of mashed potatoes, this means something. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, kids.
I mean, I've heard nothing about good things. I keep thinking, I should watch this, because
yeah, it is a really good series. Oh, and it kind of ties into what we're talking about. Yes, on Capes and Lunatics, about 11 years old and not wanting to trick or treat anymore. Because, I mean, I'm going to give you a spoiler for the second season, Phil. It's not a huge plot point, but it is something to understand.
Okay.
Because our main group of kids, who are like that best friends forever, who, when I think back upon my best friends forever at that age, I was like, oh yeah, and I don't speak to barely any of them anymore. But best friends forever, they're all dressed up for Halloween, because Halloween's on a school day, like it used to be back in my day. And they're dressed as Ghostbusters, and they go to school. and no one else is in costume because they're the nerds. Which strikes me as funny because even when I went to public school, kids still wore costumes on Halloween. You know, I mean, because you didn't have uniforms and everyone loved to wear costumes. And then, of course, it was later that they had to actually start having rules like, okay, you can't come to school in a thong and a bra, especially if you're a boy. Being sexy, whatever, you've got to actually wear a costume that is school appropriate. So, and that's when Halloween died, Phil. They want to always blame it on the serial killers and the monsters, but it was really the sexy teens who were making people uncomfortable. Because this is America. We like violence, not comfortable with sexuality.
I was going to say something about... I was going to say those darn stripper serial killers, but that's probably a movie you were in. I don't
know. You know, I don't know of any stripper serial killers. There's certainly a lot of rape revenge movies out. Sometimes that do incorporate sex workers as victims who seek revenge. Mm-hmm. But I don't know of any actual stripper serial killers. The closest you might get is Eileen, which was about a hooker who murdered her Johns as a serial killer. She was the first, not first, but she was like she was the recently recorded female serial killer because we started to realize, hey, wait, maybe women could kill men too. And women actually do have sexual frustration, so maybe they could be serial killers too. Because, of course, every serial killer is about sexual frustration. Both in fiction and in reality. We all know that. Freud was right, man. You know, that's the thing about Freud. You can say anything you want about Freud, except that he was actually wrong. About a lot of things, but when you get to his core ideas about how much sex affects human behavior, you actually got to say, yeah, actually he's a little bit right, which makes sense biologically when you think about it. Our entire brains evolved to get food and to pass on genes. We pass on genes through sex. And often we used food as a method of gaining sex. So, you know, you had to prove that you could kill a mastodon to bring food back to the cave before anyone had enough energy for sex. I'm just saying, evolutionarily speaking, Freud had some good ideas. Not saying he was right about everything. He had a lot of stupid ideas, as humans will always do. Humans, as a rule, have stupid ideas. But every so often, we stumble upon something that's like, oh, you know, that's actually kind of right. And so I think, yes, Freud is very obsessed with sex, but the fact of the matter is, especially when you get into the extremes of human behavior, I think you find that sex becomes way more important when you get into those extremes. Which is why he developed that idea, because he was dealing with people that like were weird by like 18th century standards. You know, you deal with people who were like, oh, okay, you're really messed up. You can't function in society. You overlook everything, you know. But you really can't function, and so let's figure out why that was. And it wound up being often because... So anyway, yeah, so Eileen is a serial killer. She was played by, South African actress, very beautiful, white, what's her name? I forget her name. But because she won the Oscar for it because she got ugly. And Winona Ryder plays her protege in that, and yeah. But Eileen, it's a good. Well, actually, I've never seen it. I can't say it's a good movie, but it is a plot line. It's a movie that exists, and it's a movie that exists. It may be worth watching. So yeah, so that's serial killers for you, Phil. What did you actually ask? Oh, we're talking about Stranger Things. Yes. So I very much like Stranger Things. Yes, it's a very good show. Again, why Netflix, I think, is going to continue to dominate streaming, even as all these other people are trying to get into streaming. Because Netflix is the one people that aren't branded, which is funny because you think that the branding should be your selling point. You should think that everyone should be running to CBS, whatever you call it, because they've got this Star Trek show. For them, then Fox decided, hey, why don't we do a Star Trek show that's not actually Star Trek and make it like 1,000,000 times better than anything that has been on Star Trek in recent years. And they did that, and so no one cares about CBS and their streaming Star Trek Discovery. Because objectively, the Orville is a better show. Orville was very good this week. Did you see this week's Orville, Phil?
Yes, I did.
You know, and here's this thing. I want to live tweet shows, but I also want to watch them. And it's like, it's hard to live tweet and watch a show.
I know.
And sometimes these shows are just getting good to actually
split your
attention. Actually live tweet. Yeah, exactly. And the Inhumans, fortunately, has never had that problem.
You're like, I need something to take my attention away. Half my attention away.
Yeah, my distraction this week was just my wife wanting to hang out with me for a few minutes, and that was fun. And we got to talk about the show, and we talked about how Ramsay Bolton is actually Ash from Vicious. And good old Ramsay Bolton. Yeah, I won't call him Maximus.
I mean, me and my 4-year-old were watching Inhumans, and then like halfway through, he's like, I want to watch something else. I'm like, yeah, me too. So
yeah. Well, not for nothing. It's not a good show.
No.
It is not a good... And apparently, do you want a spoiler for this week's episode?
What, Inhumans?
Yeah. Did you watch it? Did you finish watching it? I know.
I kind of skimmed through the last half. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so apparently they killed Gorgon. Which, because he was the black character, so obviously he's the one who's going to die. It wouldn't have been way more interesting and dramatic if they had killed, let's say, Black Bolt. If they had Black Bolt die in a fight with Mortis, that might have actually, been cool and interesting and really put the weight of the show on it. But no, they killed the black guy instead. Because Scott Buck is not only sexist, but apparently racist too.
And Triton, they killed him in the first 2 minutes of the series, it appears.
Yeah, he has not come back yet.
No.
That is... I really thought he was going to survive that. My hope is that they're going to bring him in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and say, no, I was rescued by Atlanteans. They're cool. Also, they're going to invade the surface world this week. So, Atlantis attacks!
So I guess we get a breathing rooms so people get the taste of Inhumans out of their mouth because we get 2 more episodes of Inhumans and then Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. premieres on December 1st.
That long,
so we get 2 weeks off maybe at least or something.
Yeah, all I gotta say is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. really needs to bring it because
really
Inhumans
really
left.
yeah.